What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
One of the biggest movies to be released in the second part of this year, and one of the newest installments of the Sherlock franchise, is Enola Holmes, a very well-sorted Netflix movie in collaboration with Legendary Pictures, a movie which is one of the many who were not able to be streamed in the cinema in the proper way, as everyone would have hoped so. The ruse that rose up from the first one had us hyped about the second part. Here is what we know so far, so stick around and enjoy.
Now, where to begin?
Recap. We can't go any further if we don't know what has happened until now. But be careful, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it already, this magnificent work of art, you should go and do that first before continuing with this video. So let's go together through this wonderful journey. Directed by Harry Bradbeer, Enola Holmes, the movie, is based on the first novel, The Case of the Missing Marquess. A promising start with the right setting. A potential for this franchise to go even bigger to what we can all expect right now. Set in 1884, the movie is about Enola, who on her 16th birthday, she finds herself alone, Enola spelled backwards, in the bed, just to wake up and learn that her mother has left her, without even saying goodbye and not even one reasonable explanation. This turn of events brings back Mycroft and Sherlock, her two older brothers, home from their adventures. The free-spirited Enola is forced by her brothers to go to finishing school and become a proper lady and woman, an idea that she doesn't really like.
Please don't do this to me. Let me remain happy. I am happy here.
You are a young woman now, Enola. You need an education.
And escapes as she tries to figure out why her mother left all of a sudden, and is searching for clues on how to get to her. On her adventure, she meets a young lord that, on the other hand, saw his life flash before his eyes, and goes on an adventure himself, dreading for life that is not ruled by his family, but actually a life that he will live on his own terms. Many obstacles are faced on the way to London, where both of them separate and go on their own ways. Enola's extraordinary talents are put to great use when she finds out that Viscount Tewkesbury, Marquess of Bayswater, who also escaped from home, is not hunted to be brought back home, but actually to be killed by an assassin. A discovery that changes Enola's course in finding her mother, and she tries to help him and make things right. Throughout the movie, we are faced with lectures from Enola's past as she goes on with her adventure in London, only for us to be drawn to the end of the movie where the conspiracy of killing the Lord is actually from his own uncle. In order for him to be the one with a vote on the reform bill, that is very crucial on the brink of change in Britain at that point in time. The movie ending with Enola and her mother Eudoria to meet after a long time, and hug it out before separating again. Enola Holmes ending. As we come to the last bits of the movie, we get to see the bigger picture, painted in very few words that have a great deal of meaning to the movie. Even though the events happen in the 19th century, the conversation that Enola and her mother Eudoria have sets up a very good ending to the movie, and a little bit of a cliffhanger. A heartwarming one that we all loved, explaining why she left Enola, an action she took to protect her. Not because she didn't love her, but actually because she wants what is best for Enola.
I didn't leave you because I didn't love you. I left for you.
Only for Eudoria to realize that she is not the one that will change how things work in England, but rather her daughter Enola, the prodigy that will change everything. She has already started with her doing things together with Lord Tewkesbury, setting the things in the right order for what is yet to come in the future of this franchise. Enola Holmes 2, renewed. There hasn't been any given answer for certain, but Netflix is not a stranger to sequels, and the possibility of Enola Holmes 2 is almost certain, but we will have to wait to be certain. It mostly depends on streaming numbers, but given the fact that the first movie was labeled certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, there's almost no doubt about Enola Holmes 2. The extraordinary performance from one of the biggest rising stars in the present, Millie Bobby Brown, and Henry Cavill's Sherlock, combined with the movie's sense of humor, we are definitely getting a second part of this franchise, and possibly only the second of many, as many critics and fans are expecting. The certainty about this segment will be clear by the end of 2020, a time when we will get most of our questions answered. Enola Holmes 2 release date. Enola Holmes started filming July 2019, and it finished by the end of April 2020. Netflix managed to release it on their platform in September 2020, given that they got the right to release it. Now for the second installment, the things are a bit tricky. With the pandemic, the shooting may and will take longer than expected, and it is not for certain when will the filming begin in the first place. Other factors that coincide with the second installment are that Enola Holmes, Millie Bobby Brown, is still part of the ever-growing Stranger Things series, and possibly the many seasons that are yet to come, and Sherlock Holmes, Henry Cavill, is the star of The Witcher. So if we are lucky enough and everything goes closely to what is planned, we might see Enola Holmes 2 by the end of 2022, or early 2023. It is a long time to wait after we got this year from the first movie, but that is a price for us to pay during these troubling times. Enola Holmes 2 trailer. Considering the fact that the movie has not been confirmed yet, and of course not filming, when it comes to the trailer of it, it is an impossible task. We all know that. So, for now, there is nothing like this, and we are not disappointed about it for sure. So for future reference, when there are any news of Enola Holmes 2 about the filming, the sequel, and everything that surrounds it, be on the lookout for a trailer, because Netflix has a strange way of showing it, very early after the renewal of a sequel of any movie that they are a part of. Enola Holmes 2 cast. As for the cast, we can safely say that we see 3 of the Holmes children back in action. Millie Bobby Brown as Enola. In many of her interviews, she stated that she loved the role so much and clicked right away.
Fun and different, and she says things in such a witty and playful way. Yeah, it definitely made me so excited to play her.
With the other actors on set and the crew behind the scenes. Henry Cavill's Sherlock was just too good to be skipped out, and he will probably be there too. And there's not one single reason to not get Claflin for the sequel, based on his reaction in an interview for Digital Spy saying, "I had so much fun with this role," an indicator that he is up for it 100%. We are not sure if Lewis Partridge will be back as Tewksbury. According to the books, there's not really a place for him in this story, but we will have to wait and see. More likely returns are Helena Bonham and Eudoria Holmes, and Adeel Akhtar and Lestrade. Other side characters will probably be there too, or at least some of them. But to be certain, we will have to wait and see. Some news from the runners of the show. Enola Holmes 2 story details. This is the hard part. Since there isn't any news on the renewal, only the huge expectations that is coming back, there isn't much story details about the sequel. But as we have seen so far, the story of the first movie is really closely connected to the first book of the series. The case of the missing Marquess, but with a couple of adjustments, and a couple of changes, we got a wider story. That has many possibilities in the future, many places to mingle some new out adventures for our beloved Enola. By the end of the first movie, Enola was still hiding from her brothers as she discovers how she wants to live her life, and goes on about her life as a young detective. And her career in that field is just starting. Enola Holmes 2 could take the case of the second book of the series called The Case of the Left-Handed Lady, an adventure for her to pursue while she still puts the efforts to avoid her brothers and their ways of living. As for her mother, in the book series, she doesn't reappear at all, and only shows her whereabouts through coded messages that Enola tries to figure out. But we could still see her, in the same way as in the first movie, in some flashbacks, or maybe another brief visit from her, taking the spotlight for a short period of time. All in all, there isn't much out there, so we will have to wait and see what is in store for us. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more videos like this in the future.